gentle, mindful movement. All right. So with that said, let's start our practice. So let's move into child's pose. So bring your big toes together. Your knees can be together or apart. And you can try them both to make sure you know where you're at. The hips towards the heels, the belly either rests on the thighs, or if you open up your legs a little bit wider, the belly can drop between the thighs, and you lower your heart, your forehead, and your arms to the floor. If you have a bolster or a pillow and you want to support yourself with that, by all means, do that. You can draw your one cheek towards the ground and maybe the other cheek towards the ground, so you can bring your awareness to where your neck is and what's going on here. And before we move, bring your awareness to that breath pattern. So inhalation and exhalation is smooth, it's deep, and it's very deliberate, meaning that you are filling up the lungs from the bottom all the way up the top, almost like you're filling up a pitcher of water. The exhalation is the same thing. The movement is always, no matter what practice, nurturing, mindful, conscious, and with a sense of curiosity. Even each breath pattern can be with curiosity. How is this breath moving in and out of my body? What do I need here? And then give yourself another really deep, slow breath as you start to bring your awareness to the sensation of the body. Now, when I go into my child's pose in the morning, it's lower back for me. And then inhale, gently bring yourself on up to table. Hands come under shoulders, knees under hips. Support your knees with something soft if there's any sensation in the knees that are uncomfortable. And then you're just going to shift your weight to the right and then to the left. So you're going to press your right hip out, maybe your right ribs out. And then you come back to center and do that again the other side. And we're going to go a little bit deeper each time. So we can press out a little bit farther. We can hold a little bit longer. And then we can do the other side. And we're going to do this a few times until you get a sense of exactly where that sensation is right for you. And then once you get to that spot where you're like, well, this is pretty good, I can feel a little bit in the glute, maybe a little bit in the groin, you can move front to back and you give yourself a little bit of the details of the groin and the hip. And then you can do the other side. None of this is fast today. But all of it, once again, is supporting the body. And that means that the sensation can be very subtle. All right, back to center, belly drops, lift the heart, lift the chin and chest. So cow pose, give yourself some time here so you can wag the tail. You can lift the chin a little bit more. And for me, when I'm doing cat cow, I try to think about space from the belly button to the chin for cow. And then the exhalation is cat pose. So you're slowly moving into it. I find that the sensation can be a little intense for the first time. So tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, engage the belly. You can wag here a little bit. You can give yourself some time. And when that sensation's feeling pretty good, let's ease back into cow pose. So belly drops, lift the heart, lift the chin and chest. So through these poses, right? So through cat, cow again, as you move through them, I think about like waking up the body, or better yet, waking up the potential that we have within the body. So not only are we moving and feeling, but we may be expanding just a little bit. And that's through either movement or through power or through awareness. Right? And if that means if you're moving through cat cow and you feel something that's not so right, maybe you just slow down a bit or do less. And that's always a good idea. All right. Back into neutral spine. Knees come a little bit closer towards one another. Straighten your right knee, but keep your right toes onto the ground and push through your right heel so you feel it in the right calf. Now, if you're feeling like you need more today, like you're fired up and ready to go, you can always push through that right heel and lift the left knee. This is a little bit more through the arms, a little bit more through the belly. It can get a little bit intense, so it's not necessary, but it's always available. If your left knee is lifting up, lower it back down. Swivel your back foot so it grounds down, so your left toes are pointing towards your right ankle. Your left hand is going to move so it's in alignment with the left leg, and you're going to come onto your right fingertips. And from here, you're going to draw this right hip back a little. So you're going to get a little bit of extension through this right side. And once you're comfortable here, you're going to take this right hand off the ground and reach it straight on up. So it's a supported side plank. So left hand's under shoulder, left knee is under left hip, and the right foot is grounding down. Now, of course, I got some options if you'd like. You can always start to bring your right toes up off the ground. And now this is a really impressive balancing pose. So if you can pick that foot up, go right ahead. If it's too much, by all means, don't do it. Now, if you pick your foot up off the ground, you can roll that right ankle. You can also roll your right wrist and wiggle your fingers and pulse the hand. Give yourself one more deep, full breath. If your right foot is off the ground, slowly lower it down, and then bring your right knee down and bring your right hand down, back to table. Wag your tail, let's twist and open. Left arm reaches up to the sky. Roll your left wrist, wiggle your fingers and pulse the hand. Sometimes you get some fatigue in that left wrist. And then we're going to slide the left hand behind the right arm, and we're going to rest on the outside of that left shoulder as we come down to the left cheek. We call this threading the needle. So your left palm is up. Your right hand is pushing into the ground. You're twisting through mid-spine, and your gaze is like over the right elbow or right shoulder. And you're softening into that left arm or left shoulder. And you're softening the neck, and you're twisting, and the belly draws up and in just a little bit. One more deep, full breath here. See if you can allow some expansion through the outside of that left shoulder blade. Now keep pressing down through the right hand and very slowly bring yourself all the way up. Slide your left hand back up to the sky. And then bend your left elbow so the back of the hand finds the lower back. And you're going to press and you're going to peel that left shoulder back like you're trying to look up towards the ceiling. One deep, full breath here. Exhale, left hand comes down, back to table. A little wag of the tail. And then walk your hands to the right. Lower your right elbow down, spread your right fingertips nice and wide. Take your left hand, scoot it up and out to the right, and you're going to crab walk it forward as far as you can. Press the left palm down so you have a little bit of power in the left arm, and then allow that left shoulder to drop just a little. Draw the hips back a smidge so the left hand may slide back a little, and now you're going to breathe space into your left ribs. Through exhalation, soften as much as you can. Relax the jaw. One more breath. And then slowly slide the left hand all the way back underneath the shoulder. Lift the torso on up. Wag the tail, cat, cow if you need it. So we're moving just a little bit organically now. Just kind of find your physical center. And then we're going to do that whole thing on the other side. So once you're nice and stable and you're feeling like the spine is malleable, your knees are going to come a little closer together. Straighten your left knee, keep your left toes on the ground, and push through that left heel. And once again, if you're needing more, you can push down through that left heel and lift your right knee off the ground. And you can do that in any facet. It could be like you can draw the thigh towards the belly chest. You could round like cat pose. This can get really intense if you really need it. One more deep full breath wherever you are. If the right knee is off the ground, bring it back down. Swivel your back foot and ground down. Scoot your right hand in alignment with right leg. Come onto your left fingertips. Draw your left hip back, and then slowly lift that left arm up to the sky. All right, so if you're needing a little bit of a balance challenge, you can bring the left toes off the ground. It could be maybe just like a ½ inch, or it could come up where that left leg is parallel to the floor. You can roll the ankle, you can roll the left wrist, you can wiggle the fingers, the toes. One deep full breath here. Your right arm is working pretty good here. If that left foot is off the ground, bring it down, and then lower the left knee down, bring the left hand down. And we're gonna do the thread the needle the other side. So right arm reaches up, roll your right wrist, wiggle your fingers and pulse the hand. And then slide this right arm underneath your left arm. Rest on the outside of that right shoulder and right cheek. So that left hand's gonna stay down today. We're not lifting it up. We're not doing any of these twists. So we're gonna use the left hand to help us kind of move through the mid-spine. So as we press down through the left hand, draw the left shoulder back, gaze up towards the ceiling, and see if you can breathe a little bit in that lower back, mid-back as you twist, and then soften into the right shoulder as you kind of get heavy. Give yourself a breath or two, and the inhalation is a little restricted because we are twisting through the mid-spine, so the lungs are getting a little attention. Right hand can be soft, or you could spread your right fingertips wide. Palm is up though. Keep pressing through the left hand and slowly lift yourself all the way up. Right arm reaches up. Roll your right wrist, wiggle your fingers, pulse your hand, and then bend that right elbow so the back of the hand finds the lower back. And you're gonna press and pull that right shoulder and elbow back as you lift the chin and chest. And then exhale, right hand comes down. Wag your tail. Cat cow. A couple times. And then cross at your ankles, roll over your feet, and come to your seat. So Rebecca, I saw that that's a good option if you're feeling like you're having any issues with that kind of threading the needle. This variation is a good option. So Rebecca, the way you were kind of doing this, it gives you the same thing without some of the pressure on that shoulder. So if you guys are ever feeling like you're doing the threading needle and it hurts, this is your alternative option, right? So this way and this way where you can getting that sensation. So cool. So check out your legs. I want right shin in front of left shin. And how you regulate if you need anything underneath your hips is your spine. So if you're like this and it's really hard for you to get tall, you can slide something underneath the hips. So if you can see, my hips are always tight in the morning. So I can get fairly straight. So you can see my spine here. But if I get onto something, I even have a nice little curvature in the backs. That's really, it's easy on the hips, and it kind of gives me a sense that I can have a nice long spine. So I'm not forcing it. Although this working that tall helps mid-back. So keep in mind, you always have the option of sliding something underneath the hips. Now, if you're a little bit more open, you can take right shin and stack it on top of the left shin, and that'll give you a little bit more of a hip opener. Keep in mind, I don't want anything in the knees, any sensation in the knees, or even on the outsides of the feet. So you can always slide like a towel or something underneath the feet. So keep in mind, bones and joints should never have any sensation that's uncomfortable. So wherever you are, hands to knees lengthen through torso, and we're gonna move the right ribs out to the right. And if you wanna think about it on the other side, bottom of the left rib squeeze towards the left hip bone. So we're kind of crunching into the left side, pressing out with the right side. And then we're gonna come back to center, and then we're gonna do the same thing the other way. So you got power on the inside, length on the outside, come on up, and then try the other side. And we're gonna do this about I don't know. I don't know how many times, but we're going to do it a bunch. And when we're going, and it can be slow or it can be a little bit faster. And what we're doing is we're accessing the kidneys. And this is going to be really nice for your immune system, as well as lower back, belly. So we're just kind of showing off what the spine can do. One of the problems that we have is we don't move the spine in all the directions that we need to. That's side to side, it's front to back, and it's twisting. So we're going to get them all today. And it's all working, a lot of it is working through the belly as well. So as we go from side to side, I want you to find, if you're finding that one side may be more malleable than the other. So when I push my left ribs out, I definitely feel more sensation. So my right side's a little bit more malleable. The other side needs a little bit more attention. And so when you find an area that has that, you want to really kind of bring your focus to it. So when you find like, oh, I'm flexible in that area, I want you to be soft in that. And when you find an area that's, oh, that needs attention, that's where you kind of dive in. Now that we're going from side to side, I want you to go a little bit faster and just kind of get a sense of where that movement is. And now we're going to move as if we're using a hula hoop, almost like a rounding cat-cow, right? So like really deliberately big circles with that torso. And the movement is almost like your head stays in the same spot. So I don't want this kind of this motion, but it's a little bit more like belly dancer. Right, so belly's in, and now that you're going in one direction, we're just going to stop and we're going to go the other direction. And this is, once again, this is a little bit more for these vital organs as well as the lower back. So we're kind of massaging the liver, the spleen, the intestines, and those kidneys. All right, now that you're once again a little bit more malleable, come back to center, shake out your hands, roll your wrists, wiggle the fingers, and yeah, you can squeeze the knuckles. Sometimes I like to press the fingers. Well, let's do this. This is one of my favorite ones. Take your right hand, grab the tips of your left fingers, and press your palm forward. The elbow starts to straighten, and then start to move your fingers to the right a little. Oh. Yeah, find a way. There's one way that's super easy, and then there's another way that's not so easy. Awesome. Let it go. Shake it out. The hands to right fingertips. Hand to right finger. I said hands like you had 4 or 5 hands. And then allow your fingertips to drift a little bit to the left. I always find this side, for some reason, very tight on me. Oh yeah. Exhale, let it go. Shake them both out. Roll the wrists. Arms reach up. Wiggle your fingers again. And then elbows bend. So hands and elbows draw back. We're just going to get some motion in the shoulders. So let's take the hands to the ears. And then draw your elbows towards one another, so maybe they touch, and then lift them up as high as you can, and then big, really slow circles with those elbows. If the hands come off the ears, that's fine. So big circles, elbows towards one another, up and away. I always feel like when I do this, I want to like mic my shoulders so you can hear the popping and the cracking. It's like, I feel like I got a brass band in the shoulders. All right, so once again, we're going to go in the other direction now. And I always like to do front ways and like clockwise, counterclockwise, just to get a sense of where our mobility is. All right, so that should get a little bit of a heat. And then we're going to bring ourselves back to center. Hands are up, so we're like in cactus arms. Hands and elbows draw back, like we're trying to, our backs of our hands are trying to kiss each other behind us. And then we're going to swivel our palms down slowly. And then towards the back of the room. This will create a lot of heat in the shoulders. And lift the heart, lift the elbows. And then let's lift the hands up again. Slowly, this is where I find this a little bit of a challenge to make it smooth. All right, so let's keep them here. Now, we're gonna see if we can touch our elbows behind our back. Not that you're gonna get there, right? Now move your hands up and down and keep squeezing. All right, lift your elbows back on up. And we're going to do this one more time. Swivel the palms down. Slowly, slowly, smooth. Yeah, looks good. And then once you get all the way back here, now we're going to interlace the fingers. Whew. Straighten the elbows as the knuckles come towards the floor. They may not touch, but they may. And if they do and you need more, you can slide the hands off the lower back. Move a little bit with your head so your neck is getting taken care of, right? So you can lift the chin up and down. You can move the chin right and left. You can gaze over one shoulder and then the other shoulder. You can bring ear to shoulder, chin to chest, chin on up. All the movements that we can make just to make sure that everything is taken care of. And then when the neck feels malleable, and if you need more, bring yourself back to neutral and hinge at the waist. So forehead coming towards the floor, arms can come off the lower back. You can even still move your arms from side to side if you still need more. If that's not necessary, you can keep a nice tall spine, right? So keep in mind that these are all options. Give yourself one more deep full breath. And then gently come on up. Release your arms. Give them a little shake. You could feel a little tingling in the fingers. So now we're going to take the hands behind us. We're going to lean back, and we're going to get our legs nice and wide. Oh. The adjustment getting into the pose is hands are pressing down, hips are coming off the ground, and you're rotating your pelvis forward. So your hip bones kind of slide back so you can get on top of the hip bones. And then once you're comfortable here, internally, externally rotate your legs, just so you can find the limitation of what's going on. And then as you hinge forward, take your hands out in front of you. And you got some options here. Elbows can be bent, hands can be soft, tuck the chin, and giving gravity some of that responsibility. For a little bit more, walk the hands forward. You can stay on the fingertips as you straighten the elbows. Think long spine. You can move the head to make sure it's malleable. If you're really ambitious today and you want some veracity, you can extend your arms like you're going to hand someone a present, and that's going to give you even more. And then last option, if you're really needing more, you can take your peace fingers and you can grab your big toes, and then you bend the elbows and you press forward, right? So find the one that's working for you. Keep in mind you have that internal, external rotation of your thighs. That'll move the sensation through hamstrings and groins. A breath or two. Keep in mind you don't have to push. My favorite pose is soft arms, tucking the chin, and giving myself some time to kind of decompress. All right. Inhale, come on up, hands under shoulders, kind of press yourself on up. Walk your hands to the right leg, so take both hands around that right thigh or knee. Before you come forward, I want you to twist a little more to the right so you can kind of get a sense of the belly, lower back, and maybe through this, you can feel some twisting through the left groin. Inhale, lengthen through spine. Exhale, come forward over that right thigh. And I want you to do it kind of slowly and bring your awareness to everything that shows up, because there's a lot going on in this pose. So the sensation, and I'm going to work through all the possibilities so we have time here. To waken up your calf, flex your right foot and roll it so your right thigh rolls in, toes straight up. That's an option. If it's too much, soften your right toes. Through your exhalation, allow your left hip bone to draw towards the floor, kind of like away from you. So where your torso is moving, the other side body is drawing away. So you have some length in the left side body. Relax your jaw, relax your shoulders, relax your forehead. If you're here and you're like, I just don't feel enough, Hands can slide underneath the knee, and you can invite the belly button towards the right thigh. If you have the flexibility, you can grab your right foot effortlessly. Go right ahead. And then last little micro adjustment, draw your left shoulder a little bit more towards your right foot. So try to square your torso towards the right leg. Inhale, come on up. Ooh, back to center. I often feel a lot in the opposite leg as I'm coming forward. So I just want you to kind of bring your awareness to the other leg. So get nice and tall, hands around the left leg, twist first. And the twisting is getting us, we're trying to get the torso square to the left foot. So what happens is a lot of times, because innately as humans, we want to get somewhere. So I see a lot of this, right? Left hand to right foot, or left hand to left foot. What I want is this. That's a little bit more challenging. So think about both hands around, shoulders square the best you can. Belly draws in, up, and then start to soften towards the left leg. Once again, the right shoulder is drawing a little bit forward. When you do that, there is this innate sensation that may show up in the right leg. Groin, side body, lower back, hamstring. So that's why I say there's a lot going on here. So internally rotate left leg, flex the left foot a little bit to show up through the calf. If it becomes too much, soften. Inhale, lengthen through spine. Exhale, soften. And then if you need more, hands underneath the leg or reach for the left foot. And once again, you may find some variation right side, left side. My left hamstring is always a little bit more open than my right hamstring. One more deep, full breath. If you're feeling like it's too much, just back off. I kind of like how that sounded. Just back off. Crying out loud. That sounds aggressive. Inhale, slowly come on up. Go back to center. Take the hands in the insides of the legs, bend the knees, and bring the soles of the feet together. For crying out loud, just back off. You're feeling too. Hands behind you, lengthen through torso. Lift your hips up and scoot your hips towards your heels until you feel enough in the groins. Now, so you can go back and forward. And then once you're here and you feel like there is some subtle sensation in groins, knees draw down and then soften. Try that again. So press down with the knees, lengthen through torso, and then soften the knees. Now it's the belly button towards the heels that'll give us more sensation. Hands to the feet, ankles, or shins, or floor. So I don't necessarily want your knees to press down now. And the hinging of the waist will give you the sensation. So the hands can come forward, elbows can be on knees, on calves and shins. And so you're going to ease into towards that sensation. And if you're needing more, let's try this. Take your elbows towards your ankles. All right, so your forearms or elbows rest on the ankles. And like a massage, I just want you to kind of press from ankles out towards the knees, like you're kind of massaging the calves. And you're going to do that a few times. So just press down and away. And this is going to give you some length in the groin as well as a little bit more sensation. And once you're feeling like the calves are taken care of, you can kind of even massage those areas with the forearms. Now you can press a little bit down with the elbows to kind of find that perfect sensation. Now, if you're really sensitive in groins, I don't necessarily need you to press down. So in the great words a few moments ago, just back off, right? All right, tuck your chin a little. Now see if you can soften your upper back. Now there's going to be some rounding in the spine. I'm okay with it. But think about softening and surrendering, softer, softer, softer. So rounding through the spine, tucking the chin. Shoulders are heavy, elbows are heavy, arms are soft. right. Slowly come on up. Hands behind you, lean back. Let's do wide legs again. All right, so once again, make those adjustments with the hips. So the hips may lift up, you may move forward a little bit, and then you're gonna get a neutral spine. So if you can't get your hands in front of you, keep your hands behind you. And you're gonna take your left hand to your left calf or knee, right? So I don't need you to stretch real far right now, but I do want some pressure. Back of the hand, inside the left leg. Right hand by the hip on the floor. So back behind you. And then you're gonna twist to the right. This is where your left hand is gonna come into play. You're gonna press and you're gonna twist. So inhale, lengthen through spine. Right hand reaches up towards the ceiling. Right palm swivels towards the left foot, so there's a rotation. Now, we're working a lot against kind of the body. So when we rotate that palm towards the left foot, we're gonna draw the right shoulder back. So I'm gonna look underneath that right tricep. So that left arm's still working, right? That's gonna be leverage. Okay, now slide the left hand down the leg as the right arm slides over the right ear. So there's not a goal to touch your left toes with your right hand, but that is kind of the direction that we're moving. And as you can see from the screen, the distance between my right hand and left toes is like 4 lifetimes. So I'll never touch my left toes with my right hand, and I am completely okay with it. So press the back of the left hand into that left leg, draw your right shoulder back a little, lift the chin so you have a little bit of space from the chin and let's say the clavicle, the throat. One more deep full breath. And then inhale, come on up. So that pose is really complex and it's taking care of a ton in the body. So I really want to make sure that we are moving mindfully into it. So let's take care of the other side. So once again, no rush. Back of the right hand inside the right leg. Left hand to the floor by the hip. Use this as a twist first. So think belly, movement to the left, sensation in the lower spine. You're using both arms to help. And then the left hand's gonna come off the ground. It's gonna reach straight on up. And then do that rotation so your left palm is facing the right foot. Draw the left shoulder back. And then really slow. Right hand slides down the leg. Left arm can start by like reaching to where the wall meets the ceiling. And then the chin could swivel towards that left shoulder. If that hurts the neck, you can keep the chin fairly neutral. Keep pressing through the back of the right hand. Left shoulder draws back until you feel enough. Now, if you have the flexibility, the right hand could grab the right foot. And then through inhalation, lengthen. Through exhalation, just soften here. One more round of breaths. Inhale, slowly come on up. Ooh, yeah. Hands inside the thighs, bend the knees, take your left shin in front of your right shin. Oh man, hands to knees. Everybody's okay? Thumbs up. Cool. All right, cool. I find those wide leg postures quite intense because what happens is we got a lot of big tendons on the backs of the knees and it's groins and hips and it pulls quite intensely. So this is kind of nice to kind of get to that seated pose. So hands to knees, lengthen through torso if you need it. Left shin on top of right shin. If the hips are tight, slide something underneath the hips, all right? Roll the shoulders, front to back. So when we did the cross-legged pose, we did a lot in the shoulders. So with this movement now, I just want you to kind of know what we did a few minutes ago. All right, shake out your hands. And then hands to knees again. Let's do those circles again with the torso. This time just a little bit more fluid. So we're gonna go in one direction. And bring your awareness to any sensation shows up. It's kind of like an inventory. And then we're gonna go the other way. Is this direction easier or harder? And then back to center. And then lengthen. This time we're just going to bring the hands forward. And we're going to move a little bit from side to side. Ooh, it's starting to really rain outside. Holy moly. Oh, it storms. So with curiosity, you're just kind of playing with the hips a bit. Two more breaths. You can find stillness if you find a spot that needs attention. And then gently come on up. We're going to do a little bit more for the shoulders. Arms reach up. Wiggle your fingers, roll your wrists, elbows bend. Right elbow underneath left elbow. Grab your shoulders, elbows up and down. Let's do a little bit of creativity. So move in as many ways as you can. So twist, move the head, move the torso front to back, move the elbows up and down. It doesn't matter to me where you're going, just kind of like play around a bit. And then let it go, shake them out. And let's try the other side. Left elbow underneath right elbow, grab the shoulders. Maybe massage with the hands, elbows up and down, move the head, relax the neck, twist side to side, maybe front over the knee, over the ankles, over the other knee. Maybe like cat-cow, so you can lift elbows up and down. And then find as many movements as you can. And then exhale, let it go, shake them out. Hands behind you, lean back, and straighten those legs. Shake them out. Little tap with the thighs, or the hands on the thighs. Flex and point your feet a few times. Roll your ankles, wiggle your toes. And then bend your knees, bring your feet to the floor. Hands behind you. Windshield wiper your legs side to side. All right, back to center, hands underneath the knees. Come onto the hip bones and then onto your toes. So you're just gonna kind of balance here and then you're gonna just pick your feet up off the ground. Get long spine, lift the heart, move the neck, the head again. Lift the feet up and then straighten and bend the knees a few times. Release the backs of the legs. And then once again, any movement you want with your feet. So they can like pedal, like bicycle, they can go wide, they can cross, you can shake them out. And then you're just gonna cross at the ankles, roll over your feet, plant your hands. Let's go into down dog. So spread your fingertips nice and wide. Roll over your toes, lift your knees and hips, pedal feet, knees in your down dog. Let's give ourselves about 5 breaths here. Move or stillness, whatever works. Your options can be coming onto your toes or maybe inviting the heels towards the floor, bending right knee, bending left knee, swaying the hips, moving the head, bending and straightening the elbows, just kind of finding what's going on with the body. 2 more breaths. And then you're just going to walk your feet to your hands. Separate your feet a little bit wider than your normal stance, a forward fold. Bend and straighten your knees. It could be one knee at a time. It could be both at the same time. You can sway the torso. You can soften the shoulders.
Hands can dangle or find opposite elbow. You got 2 breaths here. This is an inversion, getting some blood to the brain. One more deep, full breath. Hands come to mid-thigh. Bring yourself up halfway, flatten the back. You could get a little lightheaded, so nice and slowly bring yourself all the way on up. Shake out your arms and legs. If you want to do a hokey pokey, you could turn yourself about, well, because that's what it's all about. You put your right hand in. Okay, no, we're not doing hokey pokey. So heel toe your feet a little bit closer together. Give yourselves a little bit. We're just going to move a little bit here. Hands to heart center. Inhale, arms reach up. Lift the chin, lift the chest. Right hand grabs left wrist. Exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale back to center. Left hand grabs right wrist. Exhale, side bend to the left. Keep the breath smooth, deep, and free. Back to center, lift the gaze. If you feel like you need a little back bend, go right ahead. Exhale, hands come through heart center. A little bend in the knees as you fold forward. Release your arms, tuck your chin forward, fold. Inhale, come halfway up, flatten your back, lift your chin, lift your chest, maybe wag your tail a little from side to side. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands so you can walk or step all the way back, top of a push-up. Movement is up to you. You can go halfway down for up dog or knees, floor, cobra. So whatever variation is working for you today, do that. Exhale, either table, then down dog, or straight to down dog. One deep, full breath here. Nice and long spine. When you're ready, right leg lifts on up. You can roll the ankle, wiggle the toes, flex the foot. You can do whatever you like with this leg. So you can bend open and stack or make big circles. When you're ready, right foot's going to step between the hands. Let's go into warrior one. So swivel your back foot to ground down. Arms reach up. Bend and straighten your right knee a few times. We're just kind of settling into the pose. Once you're fairly comfortable here, let's go into warrior two. So twist to the left, open up your arms, maybe widen the stance. Swivel your palms up and down so you can move your shoulders a little bit with them. And then when that's comfortable, reverse warrior, right arm reaches up and over. Left hand could be on the hip, down the leg, or behind the back. As you sink low into your right knee, breathe into your right ribs. One more deep, full breath. Nice, take your right forearm to your right knee or thigh. Swivel your right palm up. Take your left hand either hip, up to the sky, or over your left ear. So whatever is working with that left arm, do that. The gaze is up towards the ceiling as you draw your left shoulder back. One more deep, full breath. Nice. Exhale, look down at your right big toe. How's it look? Pretty good? Hands down. The right foot steps back. Yogi's choice again. So halfway down for up dog through chaturanga, or knees, floor, cobra. So whatever is working for you today. And then either table, then down dog, or straight to down dog. We're just going to take care of the other side. So in your down dog, a little bit of movement. Left foot lifts on up, and then a little bit of movement here. So you can bend and straighten, stack the hip, roll the ankle, wiggle the toes, give yourself a moment in a three-legged dog. And then when you're ready, left foot steps forward. Warrior one, so swivel that back foot, no rush getting there. And once you get there, settle it on in. So bend and straighten the left knee, soften the shoulders, make your adjustments. So I want stability first. And then once you're nice and stable, tuck the tailbone, engage the belly, and then twist to the right. Open up your arms, warrior two, ease into it. So left knee is pressing out towards the left pinky toe. Toes are soft, swivel your palms up and down. Awesome. Reverse warrior, left arm reaches up and over. Right hand either down the leg, on the hip, or behind the back. Breathe into your left ribs. The gaze can be underneath your left tricep or down to your right big toe. Nice. Take your left forearm to your left knee or thigh. Swivel your left palm up. Once again, right hand can be on the hip. So if your shoulder is bothering you today, that's always an option. Right arm could reach straight up, or you can swivel that right palm towards the front of the mat or front of the room and extend and lengthen. Right shoulder is drawing back, right hip is drawing back, the heart is lifting up towards the ceiling. One more deep full breath. Nice. Gaze at your left big toe. How's that one looking? Pretty good. Hands down, left foot steps back. And last option here. So knees, floor cobra, or through chaturanga. Table pose or down dog. One deep full breath while you're there. Big inhales, slow exhales. All right, drop the knees, cross the ankles, roll over your feet. We're going to come flat to our back. Once we get to our back, draw the knees towards the belly. Wrap your arms around your legs, a little squeeze. And we're going to do a gentle spinal twist. So knees just drop to the left. Arms open up nice and wide. Chin can drop towards that right shoulder. Give yourself a big inhale, slow exhale as you soften the spine. As we start to wind down from practice, we can kind of just give ourselves a kind of a check-in, right? So toes, feet, ankles, calves, knees, thighs, how are the legs feeling? Kind of we woke them up a little bit with that last little section. How's the belly, the lower back? We did a lot of work with that today. So the digestive system should be working pretty efficiently. We moved a lot of toxins, so we'll have to drink lots of water today, make sure it flushes out of the system. Inhale, knees come back up to center. A little squeeze again. Maybe a little rock from side to side or big circles with the knees. When that's ready, knees drop to the right, arms open up nice and wide, spinal twist the other direction. Let's keep checking in here, lower back, the right side, left side may be different. We did a lot with the shoulders today, so make sure that the shoulders are feeling good. Front sides of the shoulders, the chest, shoulder blades, neck. And then relax the hands, the fingers. Another breath or two as we just kind of let the day unfold moment by moment, exactly the way it needs to. The only thing that changes is us. Our internal processes, the way that we reflect upon ourselves. The external world's going to stay exactly the way it is. And we're not in charge of changing it. Nice, knees come back to center. Thighs towards belly, chest. A little squeeze. And then let's slide into a happy baby. So both arms reaching between the legs. Grab the bottom as the feet, ankles, or shins. As we lift the ankles over the knees, separate the feet as wide as you can. A little bit of movement from side to side, like one knee towards the earth and the other knee. Bending and straightening, playing the feet in and out. Exploring all that sensation. You can even give your feet a little massage here since you're up there. And then when you're ready, Shavasana. Release the feet, heels towards the corners of your mat. Use any blankets, pillows, bolsters, blocks to support your body. Externally rotate the thighs. Legs have a little bit of space so the feet fall open. That'll soften the lower back a little. Palms can swivel up, or you can take the left hand to heart, right hand to belly. Tuck the chin. Close the eyes. Relax your jaw. This final resting pose, some yogis say most important asana of them all. The reason being is that Shavasana is also called corpse pose. It's the death of our old selves. It's an opportunity for us to let go, an opportunity to welcome in the next moment with an open heart, with vulnerability, knowing that we are powerful, that we are malleable, that we are strong, that we are wise. And with that knowledge, fear is not needed. Doubt is not needed. Each moment is perfect, has everything we need. So for the next few moments here, just rest. You deserve it. If you are able to stay in your Shavasana longer, please do that. If your day is waiting for you to start, slowly start to deepen the breath and gently start to wiggle your fingers and toes, rolling your wrists and ankles, and gently rocking your head a little bit from side to side. Extending the arms up over your head, stretch from your fingers all the way down to your toes, get nice and long. On your exhalation, just relax. A little bit of gratitude for your body, for this practice, and for the opportunity we have to move through this day with another chance to explore. I will not let this day slip through my fingers. I will feel it all and be open to all sensations, even those sensations that are uncomfortable. And that is where the healing, the growth is. And gently draw the knees towards the belly, chest as you wrap your arms around your legs and give yourself a little squeeze.
Right arm reaches up over your head, gently roll to your right side. A moment to be here now. There is no better place, and we are all so very lucky to have access to these amazing bodies with these super complex minds on this beautiful planet. Gently pressing your hands into the floor, bring yourself up into a comfortable seat. And a nice long spine. Relaxed shoulders and jaw, tuck the chin. Bring the hands together as the sign of connection. Thumbs towards the heart, sign of loving compassion. Take a nice big inhale through your nose and exhale out your mouth. Thank you guys so much for sharing your presence, your power, and your practice. Have a beautiful day. Namaste. Nice work, yogis.